More wiring, more problems. Gotta redo some of my work. I just wanted to give you all a heads up that this video is going to be uneventful. The wiring gods were not in my favor this week, so I'm putting this video out anyways to get some content, to get the algorithm back going. So all week is going to be on the grind. With that said, let's move on to the video. Back on the Panda wiring, we got a couple parts that just came in. Power switches to turn power on the cabinet on and off, and devices like JAMMA section, PC, whatever. They're going to be wired individually to individual power buttons. So we got these AliExpress doohickeys, 22mm and 19mm. There's locking, which lock in place, and then intermittent that go on and off, just for like a PC will use intermittent, and other devices will need a constant lock on, lock off. And it comes with like a pigtail plug-in, wired up and adapt it that way. As far as switching the controls, as you know, they're both Brook boards or USB. Planning on pairing them down to one USB cable to adapt to a switch box. Now I have this decased already in the second control panel that lives in the back in the center section, and it has a knob here to select between the ports A, B, C, and D. Four ports basically, and then you have your main. Right, and what that will allow me to do is switch between JAMMA, PC, console, and how do we achieve that is be lopping off the end of a USB cable and converting it to RJ45 for these jacks here. This is your old school 80s peripheral switch, and also for of the Mistercade, it has, you'll notice it has jacks. You have your controls right here, reset, menu, controls, stuff like that. But when this is buried in the cabinet, the last thing you want to do is reach down inside and find it and hit these buttons. So we have custom wiring harnesses, you know, that'll tailor up, you know, plug into these ports right here, one there, and the smaller one right here plugs into the smaller port right there, and those will give your functionality of these three buttons and some lighting, some upper LEDs, I believe, if I choose to wire those in also. I have the schematic for these. It's online, but I'll throw it in the video with a screenshot right here, hopefully. But yeah, these are the additions I was waiting for to come in while I had some downtime with doctors and life getting in the way. So we're back on the Panda, and let's get to work. Finishing up the wiring to the JAMMA harness from the Brook board. I got 13 wires on each controller that need to interface with the JAMMA. I got my 15-pin amp connector, male and female. What I got to do right now is build a roadmap for the pin out for the 15 wires that are going to interface with this plug. So I'm going to draw that out real crude, basic throwaway wiring diagram. I like to take a Sharpie and mark my amp plugs, so when you're opening the cabinet you can see easily what's 1-player and 2-player. I just put a solid line with the Sharpie, solid wiggly line across one connector for one, and the second connector we'll put 2 lines for player 2, or a broken 2 lines. So yeah, that's that. Just a little tip there. That way when you're looking in the cabinet to disconnect or reconnect, you can tell which side it is very easily and go from there. With that said, I'll cut it here real quick and do my wiring diagram. Alright, here's our crude map. We got 1 through 5 for the top row, 6 through 10 for the mid, and 11 through 15 for the bottom row. All the buttons, or the wires for the buttons, laid out. One is blank, not used, because that would be the power 5 volt. So we got, starts with 2, we got down, up, left, right, ground, ground, guide button or test menu, back button or test menu. Those two should be programmable. Start, then onto the buttons for the controls. X or short punch, Y or fierce punch. Right button is medium kick. 14 left button is medium punch. 15's ground. 16's A button or short kick. 17's B button or fierce kick. Right trigger and left trigger are not applicable, not used. They'll be wired in, but or they won't be wired in. They'll be open for future use. I don't know if I'll need them. I'll change a harness or add 2 more wires to it, whichever need be. And 20's another ground. So, well, these are 20 connections and only 15 sockets or places on the socket, on the plug. We only got 13 wires out of this going used directly to the plug, because the other 3 that I pre-wired here, let's see where they are. You got a ground and 2 connectors that this will just go to the control panel for your start and your back or your guide, one of those 2. I believe guide I don't have hooked up. I think it's just the start and the back button. One of the 2. Just for crediting up and starting the game, of course, 1-player start. And the same amount of wires will be on player 2 side minus the credit button, because you only need 1 credit button. Technically you won't need any credit button, most likely, because everything's going to be set to free play. But at this point it's good to have a credit button in there, so if I change a board out, change a board set, what have you, whatnot. So I'm going to get on the wiring, put on the time lapse, speed it up, and do work. Let's go. Well, I'm watching Sean on the big screen with his arcade parts and repair video. If you've never seen his channel, go check him out. Arcade Parts and Repair on YouTube. He's really good, really knowledgeable. Learned a lot of stuff from him on arcade board and monitor repair and stuff like that. He does it all. Really good. Alright, enough of that. We got our male female MOX or amp connector pins. Take one of those out. Male and female. Okay, got those there. And with you put away, stripping the wire, and don't, yeah. Player one. We got the male connectors there, female connector on that side there. What we'll do here is just strip the wires. Okay. Right. Got our wires stripped. Onto the crimps.
Here and down here. There you go. Now those things will fit on without having a struggle. So that's how you do that. Okay, so put this thing together.
Come on.
And I made a mistake. You only need to grind 2 posts on this side, but you need to grind 2 posts on the opposite side as well. You see, this needs to be ground down right here, where it goes up to the, where that board goes up to the,
Come on.
over here, see all that ground down there? That doesn't matter because it's not going to be here. But it's back. So I absolutely 100% this one, and these two on the back.
You can buy these Molex pins already cut from the strand. They're just cheaper when you buy them this way. Takes a little bit longer, but you're saving money. It's only a little bit of time.
So I'm going to go ahead and do these and then put it back together again. And there you go. And see how that fits in there, like right there. How that goes against that flat. If that flat wasn't there, it would be hard to get that on there.
All right. Oh, that was a knee. I don't know how close you'll be able to see this on the camera. We'll try and get a good shot of it. You got this valley right there where the wire sits in. The first edge, or the first part of the crimp, will crimp around the jacket of the wire. The second one, furthest most inner towards the pin itself, will crimp on the bare wire. So I like to take my pins, and just load it in the jaws first. And no, this one's too big. Let me find my other crimper, and I'll be right back. Alright, we got my smaller crimper here to do this pin size. And I'll load the pin in there in the socket. Looks like it wants the middle one. Actually, come on. Okay. And since this is 22 gauge wire, I like to just twist them and fold it over like that. Then
let's just get the thing apart and go from there.
Load the wire in. That way I'm getting the wire and the full jacket. Hold my index finger or my finger on the pin there, pushing back towards the crimper. Then crimp down, release, and pop it out. And we got a solid connection, solid crimp. So we'll do that 13, 14 more times here, and move on to the next. Let's see. Actually, it didn't work. It didn't work at all. Cut that off. Alright, there we go. Try to zoom in so you see close to that. On the next, we'll load your bottom down with the force up. You have this indent in the top of the jaws. It'll pull down these left and right tabs. So you just load like that, a little pressure on the ratchet to hold it in place. Finger on the opposite side, hold it, get it back pressure towards the tool. Take the wire. I like folding over. This is not going to be wired, so we'll do again, this get up to like 18 to 20 gauge. So that's some meat space there. We'll just put it down, release, and you're good. Solid wire connection. If you want to test it, you can use your meter and beat it out between 20 and 20 on board, but I'm confident they're good. So. I was thinking the board a little bit, grab it, I'm going to do that right now. Oh, I'm going to pads, but I'll do the trick. But this works. So. Okay. Okay. Gonna have to roll. This one's a little spread. A little too much spread. Might cut it off. There we go. Close spread a little bit. Now it's nice. The jaws. Get home. Get your home. And 24 pins. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Put it that way rather than go my side pressure. Just hold it. Just break it off. We need another 3 females also. Another little bit down there. Crap. You just take that. That's okay. Okay. Back on. Good and solid, good and tight. Now, technically you could cut these wires shorter to not have so much fray sticking out the edge, but I'm fine with it. I'd rather have it a little long and being able to see the crimp and see that it's a good grasp and a good connection than less fray and shorter wire. Because if you want to get fancy, you could shrink wrap, you know, each end and cover all that, but that's super overkill. I want to get this done, get to playing it, get to using it. All right, all the male pins done. Female sides just rinse and repeat. And female side will be on the JAMMA harness sides. So. Gonna set that aside and do the player 2. And we'll be back. Onto the JAMMA side, the female pins. Ribbing stuff, folks. Ribbing. If you're watching through all this, I appreciate it. Solid, didn't I say? Nope. Okay. Vewlix. Something negative in turkey. A budgie. Smile. Alright, there are 2. We're done. We should have some extra stragglers briefly taken each side, and it looks like a 130 start probably. This one goes. Let's see. Actually, no. 6 separated. 3, 6, 7, 8. So we got 3, 6, 7, 8. So this is all we get. Rounds. Another 132. So back to here. Whoosh. You got some yellow down the tube. Oh no. Good luck. There we go. That's how much good. Good stick. Good twist. Actually, good stick. That's good. Solid. That right there's probably proper length. But I'm still no ring proper anyway, so it's my style, I guess. But solid connection, doesn't matter. Solid captured. Almost in here. Okay. Elbow kill. One set. Two set. Reference. Male side, female side. Hence why they're sticking out. Line for player 1. Alright, two things happened during the intermission. One, the GoPro overheated, so I lost some of the footage I was filming and had to shut down for a while till it cooled off. Second is, realized that we only had a 15-pin connector with 20 possible positions on our edge. So what I did was went back to my stash, and the only other plug I had was because you need one for each player, was another 12-pin connector. So a 15-pin and a 12-pin, which gives us another key here, 16 through 27. So we'll have extra empty slots for expansion later to add more wires if need be for whatever else in the future. But just continued on the number sequence with that to fill out the pinout. Player 2 side's done, player 1 side's done off camera, and gonna wire the female side with the JAMMA harness. JAMMA harness is already pinned out also, so it's just a matter of plugging the pins in. Let's get to that right now. If you made it this far to the end of the video, thanks for watching, and next one is going to be a big push to get a picture on that screen.